What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I'll be doing my 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Silly Season predictions. I'm going to go through all the part-time entries and the full-time entries for 2025. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. We're going to start talking about the one car for Trackhouse Racing. This is already confirmed as Washington has a long-term contract with Trackhouse Racing, with already having 4 wins with an organization in 2022 and 2023. I expect Ross Chastain to win many races throughout the next couple years and will stay with Trackhouse Racing for the long-term future and stay in the number 1 car, especially in 2025. Up next, how about the 2 car for Team Penske? This is already confirmed as Austin Cindric has a multi-year contract with Team Penske, also being the son of Tim Cindric, who is the president of Team Penske. Definitely helps for sure as well. I think Austin Cindric is going to need to step up the plate and do much better in 2024, but he will for sure stay in the number 2 car in 2025 and probably for most of his NASCAR Cup Series career, especially in 2025. Up next, how about the 3 car for Rich Childs Racing? This is already confirmed as Austin Dillon has a contract with Richard Childs Racing through 2025. But I think 2025 is actually going to be the final season of Austin Dillon's NASCAR Cup Series career, because I think that potentially a guy like Austin Hill may replace him starting in 2026. Some indicated in recent weeks and months that basically Austin Dillon may take an executive role in the not-so-distant future, which I think will lead Austin Dillon to retirement after 2025. Up next, how about the 4 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? While it's not been officially announced, I believe Josh Berry has a multi-year deal with Stewart-Haas Racing, so he's expected to stay in the 4 car in 2025. While I think there might be some struggles for him in 2024, it is going to be a learning year for him, which I think you got to put a little pressure on him, but I think that he'll have a very solid year in the 4 car in 2024 and will try to improve in 2025. Up next, how about the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Kyle Larson has a contract with Hendrick Motorsports through 2026. And I expect that Kyle Larson to sometime in 2024 or even 2025 is going to get another multi-year extension through like 2027 or 2028. Kyle Larson is still one of the best NASCAR Cup Series drivers in the field currently at the moment, and I believe that he'll do a really strong job in that 5 car for many years to come and winning many races and more championships. Up next, how about the 6 car for RFK Racing? This is confirmed as Brad Keselowski will be back in the 6 car for RFK in 2025. This could be one of the last years of Brad Keselowski's career, as Brad Keselowski in 2025 will be turning 41 years old. But I expect Brad Keselowski to have a pretty solid year in 2024, and that could lead them having a really strong year in 2025 as well, as RFK looks to grow and build a strong organization. Up next, how about the 7 car for Spire Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Corey LaJoie has a multi-year contract with Spire Motorsports, I believe, through the 2025 season. Corey LaJoie apparently had offers to go to multiple organizations, but he sees what Spire Motorsports is currently doing at the moment, which is a big reason why he's staying in the number 7 car in 2025. I expect him to have a solid year in 2024, and I think that could lead him having a chance to make the playoffs in 2025. Up next, how about the 8 car for Rich Childress Racing? This is already confirmed as Kyle Busch has a long-term contract with Richard Childress Racing. Kyle Busch had a really solid first year with NASCAR and looks to build upon that in 2024, and looks as he will turn 40 years old in 2025, be one of the oldest NASCAR Cup Series drivers in the field. But I believe that Kyle Busch will have a good run, and Kyle Busch, I think, will do a really solid job in 2024, in 2025 as well. Up next, how about the 9 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Chase Elliott has a contract with Hendrick Motorsports through 2027. I also do expect that Chase Elliott may get another extension in the coming years, considering Chase Elliott's been with the team since 2014, 2015, at least with them as a driver development since like 2012, 2013. I expect Chase Elliott to get some sort of extension in the not-so-distant future and will stay in the 9 car for many years to come, especially in the future. Up next, how about the 10 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This is already confirmed as Noah Gragson has a multi-year contract with Stewart-Haas Racing. While I do expect Noah Gragson to struggle in 2024, I still think Noah Gragson has the potential capabilities to be a really solid driver in the NASCAR Cup Series. I know he had a bad year in 2023, but hopefully he can do better in 2024, just keep his name out of trouble and run as well as he can in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 11 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This is confirmed as Denny Hamlin has a multi-year contract with Joe Gibbs Racing. But I would not be shocked or surprised if this is Denny Hamlin's final season in the NASCAR Cup Series. But I think there is a chance that Denny Hamlin will return in 2026 as well. Denny Hamlin's still one of the best drivers in the field, and he'll be looking to win his first championship in 2024. And I think he's going to have a really good opportunity chance to do that in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 12th car for Team Penske? This is confirmed as Ryan Blaney has a long-term contract with Team Penske. Ryan Blaney is coming off winning the championship in 2023 and looks to build upon that in 2024. Ryan Blaney just turned 30 years old on New Year's Eve and looks to be around for the next 5 to 10 years with this team, and I think he'll have a great opportunity to compete for championships with this organization for many years to come and win a lot of races. Up next, how about the 13 car for Kaulig Racing? Yes, I think Kaulig Racing is going to run a 13 car in 2025. I predict that Josh Williams will be one of the drivers of this number, and Ty Dillon also will drive his seat as well. Despite the fact Ty Dillon will be full-time in the Truck Series or Rackley Racing in 2024, I think both these guys are going to split the seat and look to develop their skills in the Cup Series once again in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? This is already confirmed as Chase Briscoe has a long-term contract with Stewart-Haas Racing. I know Chase Briscoe had a bad year in 2023, but look, if you want to know my honest opinion, Chase Briscoe is a really solid and a really good driver. And I think that Chase Briscoe is going to do a really good job with SHR long-term, and his goal is to help build SHR back up. I think he's got the capabilities and potential to get that done for sure, especially with Stewart-Haas Racing. Up next, how about the 15 car for Rick Ware Racing? I expect Rick Ware Racing to have multiple drivers in the 15 car in 2025. Among those are Haley Deegan, JJ Yeley, Riley Herbst, Cole Custer, and Kaz Gralla. I think Kaz Gralla will get the most starts. There's been a lot of chatter that Kaz could be going full-time with the team in 2024, but I don't know if that has been officially confirmed. But I expect his rotation seat with multiple different drivers behind the wheel in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 16 car for Kaulig Racing? Very similar to 2024, I think this is going to be a rotation seat with only 2 drivers. I think that Matt DiBenedetto and AJ Allmendinger are going to drive this car. AJ with the most of the road courses and all like the super speedways, and Matt DiBenedetto run the other races. I think it's going to be an 18-18 split where they're going to split the seat in 2025 as Matt DiBenedetto is heavily rumored to go to Kaulig Racing for 2024 currently at the moment, and Allmendinger is still with Kaulig Racing and Xfinity. I think AJ will stay in Xfinity full-time, and both these drivers will split the seat in 2025. Up next, how about the 17 car for RFK Racing? This has not been officially confirmed, but I believe Chris Buescher is going to get an extension and stay in the number 17 car for many years to come. Chris Buescher had a breakout year in 2023, and I think that he's a really talented and really good driver. One of the most underrated drivers in NASCAR Cup Series history, in my opinion. I think Chris Buescher is going to get that extension and stay with RFK Racing for many years to come, especially in the 17 car. Up next, how about the 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? I think 2024 is going to be the final year for Mark Truex Jr. in the NASCAR Cup Series. So who is going to replace him? My prediction is John Hunter Nemechek. John Hunter Nemechek is taking over the number 42 car in 2024 after having a really strong year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And with him being on the highest totem pole of Toyota's development program right now, I believe that John Hunter Nemechek will replace Mark Truex Jr. in the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season. Up next, how about the 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? This is confirmed already as Christopher Bell has a long-term contract with Joe Gibbs Racing. Christopher Bell is coming off having a solid year in 2023, scoring 2 victories, and looks to win more races and get his first championship in the Cup Series starting in 2024 and maybe also in 2025. Nonetheless, he is going to stay in the number 20 car, especially for the foreseeable future. Up next, how about the 21 car for the Wood Brothers? Now, there's a lot of questions about the team after 2024, but if you want my honest prediction, I think Harrison Burton is going to be back in the seat in 2025. The biggest reason is because of sponsorship and funding. Despite the fact I don't think he's going to do much better in 2024 than he was in 2023, I still think that the Wood Brothers, because of the Dex Imaging sponsorship, I think they're going to keep him in 2025. I think he sticks behind the wheel of the number 21 car in 2025. Up next, how about the 22 car for Team Penske? This is already confirmed as Joey Logano has a contract through 2027 or 2028. Now, Joey Logano, one of the best drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series, I expect him to be a championship threat and contender in the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season, as obviously every even year since we started the Final Four era of the sport, he has gone to the championship for every even year. I think Joey Logano will be a championship threat in 2024, but I think he'll struggle, though, in 2025. Up next, how about the 23 car for 23XI Racing? This has not been officially announced, but I believe Bubba Wallace does have a multi-year contract with 23XI Racing for the long-term future. Bubba Wallace had a very solid year in 2023, and I expect him to have a breakout season in 2024, scoring many wins and many victories throughout the 2024 season, which could lead Bubba Wallace to being a championship threat and contender in 2025. I think he'll be for sure back behind the wheel of this car in 2025. Up next, how about the 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is already confirmed as William Byron has a contract through 2025. While William Byron's contract only goes through the 2025 season, I expect that William Byron is going to get a long-term extension with Hendrick Motorsports, considering he just had a 6-win year in 2023. I think that will lead him to get a long-term extension, and he'll stay in the number 24 car, at least for the foreseeable future. Up next, how about the 30 car for 3F Racing? Now, 3F Racing has been teasing that they're planning to be in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2024, and I'd probably like to go full-time in the near future as well. My prediction for the driver is Ryan Vargas. Ryan Vargas has been doing as a reserve driver for the organization and has been doing a lot of work with this team in the Cup Series. I'll throw Justin Allgaier's name in there as well, but I think this team for sure will show up at some point in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 31 car for Kaulig Racing? I don't think anything is changing in 2025. I believe Dale Hemrick will be back behind the wheel of his 31 car in 2025. I think Dale Hemrick's going to have some struggles being back in the Cup Series for the first time, but I think he'll get better in 2025 in this number 31 car. Also, you have to remember that Dale Hemrick does bring some sponsorship funding, which doesn't hurt anything, especially the wallets. And he doesn't really wreck a lot of equipment. So therefore, I expect Dale Hemrick to be back in the 31 car in 2025. Up next, how about the 33 car for Richard Childress Racing? Now, RCR, I believe, will have this car once again in 2025, and I think it's going to be split between Brody Kosecki and Austin Hill, with Austin Hill running a majority of races in this seat, especially in 2024 as well, and Brody Kosecki getting a few select starts, as Brody's indicated he wants to make a few select starts in the NASCAR Cup Series as well. I think both these drivers will split the seat in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 34 car for Front Row Motorsports? While it's not been officially announced, I expect Michael McDowell, with how good he's been the last couple years of Front Row, I expect him to be back behind the wheel of the number 34 car in 2025. Like I said, Michael McDowell had an amazing and a great year in 2024, and I expect that for him to land this seat long term. He might get a win in 2024. I think he will get a victory, and I think he'll be a solid threat and contender throughout 2024, which will keep him the seat in 2025. Up next, how about the 36 car for Front Row Motorsports? I expect Front Row to bring the 36 car back in 2025 as well, with the seat split between Riley Herbst and Brett Moffitt. I think Brett Moffitt will be going back to the Front Row program potentially in the Truck Series here in the future, and Riley Herbst already has made starts with Front Row Motorsports. So therefore, I believe both these drivers behind the wheel of his number 36 car in the 2025 season, which will lead to them having a pretty good year. Up next, how about the 38 car for Front Row Motorsports? Well, I don't know what's going on with the future of Todd Gillen. I do believe the Front Row is going to keep Todd Gillen long-term as their long-term future, and it'll be in the 38 car once again in 2025. Todd Gillen, really good driver in my opinion. He had a really good start in 2023, and end of the year not as good, but I think he will keep the seat in 2025. He's a good enough driver to keep the seat in my opinion, and can get the best out of equipment as well. Up next, how about the 41 car for Stewart-Haas Racing? I don't expect any changes from 2025. I think Ryan Preece will be behind the wheel of the 41 car once again in 2025. Ryan Preece, really good driver in my opinion, always gets the best out of equipment. I know he struggled with SHR, but I think that Ryan Preece will get better with SHR in 2024. He had a really good ending to 2023, and I think that'll lead to him getting the seat once again in 2025. Up next, how about the 42 car for Legacy Motor Club? I've already predicted that John Henry Mitchell will be behind the wheel of the number 19 car in 2025. So I think the driver will take over the 42 car. This is my prediction, is Chandler Smith. Chandler Smith is going full-time with Joe Gibbs Racing Xfinity in 2024. I think that'll lead him getting some select NASCAR Cup Series starts as well in 2024, potentially with 2311 or maybe Legacy. Nonetheless, I think Chandler Smith will go full-time with Legacy in 2025. Up next, how about the 43 car for Legacy Motor Club? This is already confirmed as Eric Jones has a multi-year contract with Legacy Motor Club. I think Eric Jones is a very solid driver. I think he's going to make the playoffs in 2024, and I think he'll be a solid threat for wins throughout the 2024 season, and I think that'll lead him having a potential really strong year in 2025 as well. Up next, talk about the 44 car for NY Racing. Now, NY Racing has been rumored as of recently that they could enter the Daytona 500 in 2024, and this could lead to them returning in 2025 as well. I predict that Greg Biffle may make a couple starts, considering Greg Biffle's been interested in recent months. He spoke if Portland comes on the schedule in 2025, he may go there. And Jeffrey Earnhardt, I think, will also be a driver behind the wheel of the seat in 2025. I also will throw Roger Cruz's name in the equation as a potential candidate as well. But I think this team is going to come back with Greg Biffle, Jeffrey Earnhardt, and potentially Roger Cruz. Up next, how about the 45 car for 2311 Racing? I don't expect any changes for 2025. I believe Todd Reddick has a multi-year contract with 2311 Racing. I expect Todd Reddick to be an outside championship threat and contender with 2311 Racing in the 2024 season. I think he's a really, really good driver, and I think he will stay in the number 45 car for many, many seasons to come. Up next, how about the 47 car for JTG Doherty Racing? While it's not been officially announced, I would expect that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to stay in the number 47 car for JTG Doherty Racing for a very long time. Considering he had his most successful year in 2023, win the Daytona 500, and being one of the most consistent drivers in the field at times, I think that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to stay long-term with JTG Doherty Racing. Really solid driver. I think he stays in the 47 car for sure in 2025. Up next, how about the 48 car for Hendrick Motorsports? This is already confirmed as Alex Bowman has a contract with Hendrick Motorsports through 2026. And I also expect that Alex Bowman is probably going to get an extension at some point through 2028, because I think in 2024 or 2025, Alex Bowman is going to bounce back from the struggling seasons he's had over the course of the last few years. Alex Bowman is a really good driver, in my opinion. He can do a good job, and I think he'll show a lot of improvement in 2024 and also in 2025 in the 48 car. Up next, how about the 50 car for the Money Team? Now, the Money Team has indicated that they're looking to run full-time in 2025. Now, who do I think are going to be the potential drivers? Well, my prediction right now is I think that guys like Jeffrey Earnhardt and Kyle Weatherman are going to be the top candidates. Jeffrey at points has been rumored for the Money Team in the past couple of years, to my understanding. I'm not entirely sure on that. And Kyle Weatherman is someone who I think deserves more Cup opportunities. He'll be running full-time with DGM in the Xfinity Series in 2024. So I think that both these drivers could be potential candidates for this team in 2025. Up next, how about 51 car for Rick Ware Racing? This is already confirmed as Justin Haley has a multi-year contract with Rick Ware Racing. Now, Justin Haley, I think there's going to be some struggles for him in 2024, but I think Justin Haley could have a pretty good year in 2025. Justin Haley is a very solid and good driver, in my opinion, who can get the best out of equipment as well. So I think there's, especially with the tight lines with RFK, I think they're going to get better in 2024 and also in 2025. Up next, how about the 54 car for Joe Gibbs Racing? There'll be no changes for this car, as Ty Gibbs, of course, is a grandson of Joe Gibbs, so Ty Gibbs is not going anywhere anytime soon. I expect Ty Gibbs to have overall a pretty solid year, a big improving year in 2024, where I think he'll be an outside championship threat and contender and will potentially get his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory in 2024. Up next, how about the 60 car for RFK Racing? Now, RFK has talked about recently they're looking to make the 60 car, the Stage 60 car, potentially a full-time entry. I expect this car to for sure at least run part-time in 5, and I think drivers like Cam Waters, David Reagan, and Haley Deegan will drive behind the wheel. Cam Waters is expected to run 4 races in this seat in 2024. 3 races. David Reagan's going to run the Daytona 500, and I think of how high forward is on Haley Deegan, I think she'll make some starts with this team, and maybe Frankie Muniz also could get a start with this team. Nonetheless, I think this car will be solid and will run for sure in 2025. Up next, how about the 62 car for Beard Motorsports? I don't think any driver change is going to be coming in 2025. I think Anthony Alfredo will drive this car in 2025. Considering the fact that Anthony Alfredo will make some starts with his team in 2024 and he brings sponsorship and funding, I think Beard Motorsports is going to continue doing the same thing and keep Anthony Alfredo behind the wheel of the seat in 2025 as well. Up next, how about the 66 car for NBM Motorsports? Now, NBM Motorsports has indicated in recent years that they're interested in going back to the Cup Series. Apparently, they have a next-gen body, to my understanding, so I think they'll make some select starts in Cup once again. If you want my prediction, I think it'll be Sage Karam and Timmy Hill will be the 2 main candidates for the seat. Sage Karam made select starts for NBM Motorsports and Xfinity, and Timmy Hill made some select starts his team for many years. So I think these 2 drivers will be the candidates for this seat. Up next, how about the 6-7 car for 2311 Racing? I think 2311 Racing is going to enter this car once again in 2025. I think Eric Almirola will make select starts in this seat. I think Kamui Kobayashi will make select starts. I think Sheldon Creed is going to make select starts. I think maybe Carl Edwards makes a one-off return, and maybe Kurt Busch comes back if he is medically cleared to return to the sport, but probably not. Nonetheless, I think this car is going to return with multiple different drivers like Carl Edwards, Kamui Kobayashi, Eric Almirola, Sheldon Creed, and maybe Kurt Busch as well. Up next, how about the 71 car for Trackhouse Racing? Yes, you heard me right. I think Trackhouse Racing is going to take that 71 car that Spire Motorsports has and integrate that as a Trackhouse seat. Considering that Zane Smith is under contract with Trackhouse for the next 2 years, I think they'll integrate the 71 car to being a Trackhouse car in 2025. With Zane Smith back behind the wheel of the number 71 car, it will all go to Trackhouse, so I think Spire will downsize to 2 entries, but of course Spire's alliance will get strengthened as well, with Zane behind the wheel of this seat. Up next, how about the 77 car for Spire Motorsports? There will be no changes to this team as Carson Osbar has a multi-year deal with Spire Motorsports through 2025 or 2026. Carson Osbar, very solid driver in my opinion. I think he's a really good dude, and I think he'll do a solid job with this team and get better in year number 2 with the organization. I'm excited to see what he can do, and he'll be in the 77 car for the foreseeable future at Spire Motorsports. Up next, how about the 78 car for Live Fast Motorsports? I expect Live Fast Motorsports to be back in 2025, but only for a select number of races with BJ McLeod behind the wheel. I think it'll just be for the Super Speedway races, considering that they're not running full-time anymore, and I think BJ McLeod, like I said, will be the driver behind the wheel of his organization in the 2025 year. Up next, how about the 84 car for Legacy Motor Club? I think Legacy Motor Club is going to run the seat once again for Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy, I think, will make select starts in 2025, despite the fact he'll be 50 years old. And I think Matt Kenseth may make a one-off or two-off start with this team. That's my prediction, considering Matt Kenseth is working with the team as a competition advisor. It'd be cool to see Matt Kenseth get back behind the wheel, and maybe Sheldon Creed and some other drivers like Corey Heim get an opportunity to drive this team as well. Nonetheless, I think that this car will be back in 2025. Up next, how about the 88 car for Junior Motorsports? Yes, I think Junior Motorsports is going to jump up to the Cup Series in 2025. Probably not full-time, considering the charters are extremely expensive, but I think they're going to run at least part-time. I think Sammy Smith, Dale Jr. for maybe one race, and Justin Allgaier are going to drive a seat, and maybe Brandon Jones as well, if he can bring the sponsorship and funding. But I think that Junior Motorsports is going to be going Cup Series racing finally, and they're going to bring that 88 car up, which will be really exciting. I think Junior Motorsports finally goes Cup Series racing in 2025. Up next, how about the 91 car for Trackhouse Racing? I think that this is going to be Project 91. I think Trackhouse is bringing Project 91 back. And I predict that Juan Montoya and Helio Castroneves will drive in this seat. Considering Juan Montoya, I think he should come back to NASCAR. It's been a long time. I want to see what he can do in a Project 91 entry. And Helio Castroneves has been promised a Daytona 500 start. So if it doesn't happen in 2024, maybe happens in 2025. But I think Project 91 is actually going to be coming back in the year 2025 and 24 as well. Up next, how about the 97 car for Trackhouse Racing? Now, I think the 97 car is going to be driven by Shane Van Gisbergen, who's going to go full-time Cup Series racing in 2025. I think SVG is going to do really good in Xfinity. He's going to be driving for College Racing full-time and make select NASCAR Cup Series starts this year, which I think will lead to him having opportunities and chances to do really good on ovals as well. I think he's going to get better, and I think if he does well enough and makes a playoffs, especially in Xfinity, I think that SVG, if he wins an oval race especially, I think Shane Van Gisbergen will be behind the wheel full-time in the Cup Series in 2025. And finally, let's talk about the 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. Despite the fact that Daniel Suarez is technically on the hot seat, I know he has a multi-year deal with Trackhouse, but he's on the hot seat right now going into 2024. Luckily for him, I think he's going to step up and do a lot better, and I think that Trackhouse is going to keep Daniel Suarez. I know they can go out and get anybody they want to, but Daniel Suarez is in a must-perform year. Luckily for him, like I've already mentioned, I think he'll step up and have a much better year in 2024, and I'll keep the seat in 2025. So, those are our 2025 NASCAR Silly Season predictions. This was my birthday special, so that's what you guys are seeing today. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, those go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support on Patreon as well. Link in the description below that, and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What are your 2025 NASCAR Silly Season predictions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like I mentioned, it's already my birthday today, so if you want to wish me happy birthday, you absolutely can. I don't know if there's going to be more videos dropping on the channel today. I don't think I have really anything in the plans in the cards for the rest of the day, so this is probably the only video coming out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.